All right, folks, big Friday update. It's January 24th, 2025, and we got to talk about this XRP strategic stockpile. I'm not going to say it's a done deal like some of these Bitcoin maxis, but funny enough, we actually have some Bitcoin guys that are reporting that apparently XRP is in some serious conversations for this national strategic stockpile that Trump has now put forward with his executive order. We are going to also be talking about these Bitcoin maxis and their response to the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve idea that they had that didn't quite pan out as they expected. And then we'll also be taking a look here at these markets getting impacted by the Bank of Japan raising rates to the highest level in 17 years. Now, this is coming up here on next week. We get the Fed interest rate decision back home in the United States of America. So an interesting couple weeks here to start off the second Trump administration. Markets were back up for crypto, but the rest of the space starting to show a little bit of signs of weakness. Full update, let's get it. Here we go. Bank of Japan raising interest rates to the highest level in 17 years, and the yen is jumping on that. Now, please note that we're talking about raising rates 25 basis points to 0.5%. They were at 0.25%. We're raising by 25 basis. And so now the short-term policy rate from the Bank of Japan is sitting at 0.5%, which is, yes, still the highest level in 17 years. So we covered this last night's live show. This happened while I was live, and we are going to see how the markets reacted today. Everything was down except for crypto. So crypto has started to disconnect from the broader stock market, and we love to see that, and for good reason. It makes sense to me. The fundamentals are there. We're talking about national stockpiles, right? Governments starting to load up on crypto, big corporations starting to load up on crypto. Banks can now custody crypto. So it makes sense to me why there's still a fundamental driver and a lot of momentum behind the cryptocurrency space while the stock market's rolling over. The S&P 500 just printed a new all-time high yesterday, but it was down along with the Dow Jones, along with the NASDAQ 100. Gold and silver were up earlier today. Gold almost broke through about $2,800 per ounce, and silver was up over $3,150. But both of those cooled off towards the end of today here. And so we're up slightly, but nothing like we're seeing in the cryptocurrency space, guys. Check this out with Bitcoin back up to 107,000 today. I'm on the 4-hour chart right now. So yes, we are pulling back a little bit here, but back up to 107 after yesterday. We were all the way down here at 101.3 briefly. So a big move and really just a lot of volatility coming in on these markets. For XRP, still just showing great strength and consolidation between $3.20 and down here at basically 305. And so I've drawn a couple trend lines here today. We'll see how well those trend lines hold up, but it's showing us that our wedge pattern, once again, this bull flag, getting ready to break through here to the upside here soon. So love to see that. And then as I titled last night's live show, 150% pump for XCN. This is a new coin that I got into just last week. I did end up taking some profit on this coin yesterday, still holding a bag and watching it ride. And this thing went all the way up to about 3 cents yesterday, coming back down today on some news and allegations that were put out by Justin Sun from Tron. He actually said that the company Chain, which created the token XCN, was doing some sort of market manipulation. Pretty strong allegations. Well, we did get the update from Onx DAO, which is the DAO that's now in charge of basically the governance of this blockchain for XCN. And so they are thrilled to announce the resolution of an unrelated XCN issue with HTX Global and Justin Sun for a matter from 2022. OIP 51 will be deployed to grant HTX market support for XCN. It was confirmed that the recent statements made did not relate to any recent matter and the price appreciation of XCN, which is in thanks to our community. HTX Global and Justin Sun will be involved in XCN staking and governance with this proposal. So Justin Sun goes from saying that there's market manipulation taking place to now he gets a seat at the table. So I don't really know what's going on here, to be honest with you guys. Justin Sun maybe is now going to be pumping this thing up. I don't know. But they will become part of the DAO with XCN locked for 2 years and public acknowledgement from Justin, known as the founder of Tron. So Justin Sun investing 30 million in Trump's World Liberty Financial just about a month ago. And now I guess he's going to be involved here in XCN. He's going to be staking, and he's got their tokens are going to be locked for 2 years with public acknowledgement. So it's like, what kind of deal just took place between Justin Sun and this group? It's like he came out with these allegations of market manipulation. They say we're basically going to look into suing him. And then a few hours later, they come out and say that, oh, we got a deal. Now, I haven't seen any response from Justin Sun yet. So I'll be watching to follow up and see if he does end up offering an apology or a little bit of clarity on that. But nonetheless, XCN did pull back here today, as I showed you guys on the chart, but back up here to a little over 2 cents right now, well away from the 18-cent all-time high. But like I said, I sold off 75% of the bag that I had yesterday. I did 2 sale orders, was able to get my exit, but I still hold 25% of my bag, and I'm going to be holding this one from here just to see what happens. This is going to be fascinating to watch. Speaking of something that's been fascinating to watch, the Bitcoin maxis in full panic. Once again, I have nothing against Bitcoin. I'd be happy for us to turn our pile of Bitcoin that we have into a strategic reserve and just hold it. And I would still be holding Bitcoin, honestly, if it wasn't for the toxicity from the Bitcoin maxis. Like, I would still be in Bitcoin, and I would still be believing in it as a store of value and as, something to kind of keep around and to keep in my portfolio. But I'm just not, because of the toxicity. And this is a prime example. These guys are out of their minds, right? The ego on this one, and they wonder why no one takes them seriously. I'm retweeting here a post of Max Kaiser responding to somebody asking, are you going to be on the call with Trump? Would love to hear if you are. Max Kaiser says, I don't get on calls with shitcoiners. The audacity of Max Kaiser, who compared to Trump is an absolute nobody, to come out and say that he doesn't get on calls with shitcoiners is another prime example of just the absolute joke that these Bitcoin maxis are. They are so toxic and they are so damaging to the entire cryptocurrency space. And we're trying to get away, right? Like, I got my shirt right here, XRP family. We're not trying to be the XRP army anymore. We're trying to get along with everybody. I put out the tweet earlier today. Is the XRP family going to crash the Bitcoin conference there in Vegas? The Bitcoin conference is taking place the 3 days before XRP Las Vegas. And by the way, if you haven't gotten your tickets for XRP Las Vegas, you might want to do so here soon. Brad Kimes is going to be selling out that event here shortly, I'm sure. But I asked the family, are we going to go join? Let's have a celebration. Bitcoin conference, XRP Las Vegas. Just like Brad Kimes says, come on in. We're trying to be the family. We've put down our shields and swords. We've put them away. We're trying to be nice. But you can't stop these guys, Max Kaiser and others, from still coming out of the woodworks. Bitcoin Magazine today. Retweet if you don't want XRP on America's balance sheet. Bitcoin only. Now, it's crazy the level of extent that they're willing to go to. They're willing to actually hurt our country if it means padding their own pockets. That's how important, that's what this is for them. They do not care that XRP is a legitimate digital asset that should be considered in the strategic stockpile, that it is being treated as a reserve currency, that it does have real utility, scales up way more than Bitcoin ever will. And yet these guys would rather, because of their own incentives, they want to pad their own pockets versus see America win. And just give us a level playing field, right? And just open up the conversation, right? It's like, we haven't even really confirmed whether or not, Trump is into XRP, whether he's considered. We know he's meeting with Ripple, and we do have our suspicions. And I'm going to show you here later in this episode that even the Bitcoin guys are saying and admitting that, yes, XRP is being considered for the strategic stockpile, but the complete meltdown, the toxicity, I hope that it comes to an end soon. But I'm going to tell you guys, honestly, I don't have any hope that it will. And so it's going to be a fatal mistake for those Bitcoin maxis, because they're only going to hurt themselves. They're only going to hurt Bitcoin. And the broader cryptocurrency space is going to move forward with or without them. So it's up to them. A prime example is Mark Yusko right here, right? This is the CEO of Morgan Creek Capital being asked and interviewed by Paul Barron. Huge shout out to Paul. We know that he's gotten in on XRP. But Mark Yusko lists his conditions to buy XRP, and this is going to be another perfect example of why these traditional finance guys are going to miss the boat on XRP. Listen to why and what he wants to see out of XRP before he invests in it. Take a listen.
Would that put you guys in a position where you would say, okay, I'll buy some XRP?
So the short answer is, our job as venture capitalists is to invest in digital asset infrastructure. We own a lot of Bitcoin. We own a little tiny bit of Ethereum. We own a fair amount of Solana, although we sold most of that. We don't own XRP. When we talk to founding groups, we have not met very many founding groups that are working on those platforms. We don't own Dogecoin, right? If suddenly somebody were to say, yes, XRP is going to replace SWIFT and Bank of America is going to use it and JP Morgan is going to use it, if I can see a way that some of the revenue that would be saved by using a better, faster, cheaper solution could accrue to token holders, then I want to own that.
So that's called a security, right? When you're relying on shared revenues and shared profits to come back to the token holders, you got yourself a stock, okay? And the big thing here, the first point that he made, he needs clarification. He needs to see the announcement that it's going to be an infrastructure layer for Bank of America, JP Morgan, etc. And the founders that he talks to aren't interested in XRP. Well, of course they're not. You haven't been able to do anything on the XRP ledger besides send fast, cheap, and efficient payments. There has been no DeFi. There hasn't been much functionality. That's all changing. And by the time the announcements come out that XRP is going to be part of the infrastructure layer, are we going to be looking at a $5, $10, or a $50 XRP? Right? This is why these guys are going to miss the boat, because he's thinking as a shareholder, as a traditional finance guy, I'm a shareholder. I need to be, getting some of this revenue, some of this profit needs to be coming back to me. No, that's not how this works, Mark. And he should know better, honestly. It's quite embarrassing to me that that's one of the things that he's asking for to get in on an XRP investment. I mean, completely flawed thinking as approaching digital assets. He should know better. If I was invested in Morgan Creek Digital, I would have some serious concerns, because it's like, Mark, that's where the opportunity's at, is getting in on these assets before the announcements are made, before it's been confirmed. And we already have enough evidence and documentation and confirmation that Ripple's been at the table, that they've been trialing it and testing it, and that they do have active partnerships around the world where XRP liquidity is, solving, liquidity problems, right? It is being used. So how much further confirmation do you need? At a certain point, you have to have enough confirmation and validation to make the investment. And yes, you got to take on some risk, but that's what you're in the game as a VC investor. Mark needs to know better. And I would be, if I was an investor, I'd be telling him he needs to do better, because we're missing out on gains right now, Mark. And you heard him. He said they only own a little bit of Ethereum. That's kind of embarrassing, in my opinion. I think it's going to be a laggard. Just my opinion. Maybe it's not embarrassing. Maybe that's a little harsh. I shouldn't be hard. I don't want to be toxic. I just think it's not the play. Nothing against it. I just think it's not the play. And then he already dumped his Solana on you. So if you're holding Solana, just know that Mark Yusko and Morgan Creek already dumped their Solana on you, just like the rest of the VCs did. What's changing is, and what's so interesting is that these guys, some of the smartest guys, big bags, right? They don't get it. But you got retail investors across the world that are loading up on XRP that do get it. And something that we've seen here that shifted, this is shared here by Kashta, USD is taking over Korean won. Things are changing. So when you look at the currencies by volume paired up against XRP, Tether is still by and large over 40% of the trading. Korean won was in second place, but now we're tracking here that we're actually getting more volume in US dollars than we are Korean won. As I've been noting on Coinbase order book and the inflows on Coinbase, the Americans are showing up and they're just buying XRP day after day after day. Ever since Trump won this election, they're showing up and buying it. Now, these folks get it. Me and you get it. Regular Joe Blow off the street somehow can get it, but Mark Yusko and some of these other guys, for whatever reason, they're still struggling to come around. I think it's going to be a big mistake on their behalf, but hey, to each their own. XRP Community Day kicking off with Brad Garlinghouse. This is going to be next week. Lock in on January 28th, XRP Community Day. This is going to be on Twitter, in X space, January 28, 2025. Looking forward to that one. Ripple requests April 16, 2025 deadline to file its opening brief in the ongoing lawsuit against the SEC. I think that they just want to buy some time to negotiate some sort of settlement. And I've been speculating on that. You know, we'll see what ends up coming to that. But I wouldn't put too much on that date as far as, oh, wow, now we're going to have to wait till April. No, I think that this is a negotiation, you know, buying them some time so that they can finalize, maybe eat beef bourguignon one more time with Trump and maybe the new SEC chair and wrap up this case. So we'll see what happens there. Finally, as I titled this episode, XRP Strategic Stockpile, this is from Scott Melker. Now, I don't know if I would call him a Bitcoin maxi. He's not that intense, but he's mostly a big Bitcoin guy, and he is into a lot of other cryptos and stocks as well. But, you know, this is fascinating to see him post. I rarely post rumors unless the sources are reliable and I hear it from multiple places. So he's not just hearing this from one guy. He's hearing this from multiple places. It will take a long time to see how all of this shakes out, but I can assure you that XRP is currently a major part of the conversation. Will take months to sort and a lot can change. Now, this is from his post yesterday. Strong rumor, don't shoot the messenger. But hearing it through reliable channels, the strategic stockpile they're discussing is Bitcoin and XRP. Not a joke, we will see. So according to Scott Melker, XRP is in the mix from reliable sources and from multiple sources. Now, if I was like the Bitcoin maxis, I would tell you that this is a done deal. I'm not going to do that here today, but I've made my case in the past, and maybe I'll make another update explaining why I think that, and really, you know, break it down on why I think the XRP is such a great option to add to our strategic stockpile. But I'm interested to hear from you guys in the comments down below what you guys are thinking the odds of XRP being included in the strategic stockpile for the United States of America. So if you guys appreciate our content, please remember to like and share these videos out far and wide. Make sure you have subscribed and hit that notification bell. All of our community resources are available at ZachRector.com. And if you're looking to join us tomorrow in our Discord weekly call that we have every single Saturday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, head on over to my website and you sign up through Patreon to get access to Discord. We would love to have you in the family. And yes, we have some new merch on the way. Keep your eyes open for that. Have a good weekend. God bless you all. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.